Hey, how's it going guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at some more PS2 emulation. I was going to do a Sly Cooper video, but I'm going to leave that for another day. Basically, I just wanted to update you on the PS2 emulator. So the PS2 emulator has had an update in the last week or so for Windows, and it's added a whole new interface for the PS2 emulator. Basically, you can set custom profiles for each individual game, which is awesome because that's never been done before on the PS2 emulator. It's just been you've had to have a plug-in to do it, which is a bit of a hassle to set up. Or yeah, it's just been one setting for every game. And I know some games require different settings. So you've got San Andreas, requires you to check some auto flush feature, I'm pretty sure, because then it gets rid of some really dodgy reflections. So that needs to come to Linux basically. At the moment it's just Windows. But the moment that comes to Linux, I'm definitely going to be trying that out because it looks awesome. And it automatically updates itself and stuff. So yeah, I just thought I'd let you guys know that the PS2 emulator has had a pretty big update as far as emulation goes on the Windows side of things. I'll let you know when it comes to Linux, but yeah, hopefully we can get that soon because per game profiles for each game would be very sick, would be very awesome. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to do some PS2 emulation today, and yeah, let's just get into it. So welcome back guys, some of my regular content. We're going to look at some more PS2 emulation today. As you can see, the skin is looking clean, it's still holding up. Like I said to you in a recent update, once you shine a light on this section, it looks so clean. Yeah, I'm extremely happy with the fit of it. It was a pain to get in place, but I don't think I did a bad job. It's just some of these creases on these palm rests are a little bit annoying. I'm gonna have to go back over them. I just don't have the time yet. But yeah, like I say, as you saw from a video I did a couple of days ago now, or yesterday even, I seem to be able to manage putting it on. It definitely was the hardest skin I've ever put on, but you know, it's worth it in the end. Just requires a little bit of patience, which sadly I don't have a lot of. So that's why a little bit of the palm rests are a little bit creased, but it's difficult because you have to manage the hairdryer, and the hairdryer gets obviously really hot, and you've got your hand holding certain areas and it starts burning your fingers. So it's not ideal, but once you get it in place, it looks clean. As you can see, we're going to look at some Max Payne to start with today. And also, just a little pro life hack for you about the PS2 emulator. If you click Steam and just go into the settings here, I've been using this in Snake Eater and Sons of Liberty. If you enable back grip buttons, and if you basically just put in keyboard F1 here and F3 here, that acts as your save states, so you can save state and load back in the PS2 emulator. I know that's not anything new, but I just didn't realise that was a thing in the PS2 emulator. I don't know why, so I've been using the PS2 emulator for years now, but I just never really looked up save states. But yeah, I don't know if it makes the games a lot easier depending on how often you use it, but it's extremely useful to get back into a game. You don't have to watch all the splash screens. So, for an example, I know this is a cutscene at the start of the game, but if I save state now, and then let's just say I got bored of playing it, and then a few hours later I'm like, oh, I fancy playing some Max Payne again. If we click play, normally you'd have to watch all the intro and then load your save. But if you click the back left paddle, which you've just set to to F3, load us straight back into our save state. And I use this a lot of times for Metal Gear Solid 3, just to skip all that intro scene. And as you can see, it's an amazing feature that I just didn't really know about. I mean, maybe you guys use it all the time, I just didn't know about it. So if any of you guys don't really know about it, I'd definitely recommend using that save state feature. I know a lot of these PS2 games don't really have a lot of saves in them, and the way you can save it is only at certain times. So that save state thing, like I said, makes the games easier if you're using it all the time, but it can be very useful if you're just using it to get back into a game where you've just left and want to get straight back into it afterwards. I know Max Payne has a PC port, but the PS2 port seems to work really well for me. And yeah, all the buttons are mapped as well. I think in the PC port you've got to automatically map the mouse and keyboard to the control pad, and it just doesn't work as well as an actual control pad. I had the same problem when I tried out the PC versions of the GTA trilogy.
You could map it to the control pad, but at the end of the day, you're mapping a mouse and keyboards to like a control pad, to like a game pad. And for some reason on the game, because you've got your WASD keys, you're strafing left and right with A and D. Doesn't work as well as like a 360 movement joystick. I love Max Payne. Haven't played 1 or 2 before, only 3. Kind of want to go back and play these 2. They play very similarly. The graphics, as you can see, pretty sharp. And Max has got an extremely long body for some reason. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure the Max's face is based off the main director of the game, Sam Lake, as well, from Remedy. Looks exactly like him, which is quite funny, to be fair. But yeah, I don't know why he's got such gangly long arms. But, you know, whatever. As you can see, we're at full speed. I'll chuck the settings up for you guys so you can see what kind of battery life we're going to be getting from this one. As you can see, I'm also running on a high battery life today as well. We've got an 86% battery life. Try and skip these cutscenes. So it's R1 to shoot in this one. And you can slow down time as well. And then you can also do like the bullet time jumps. Just like in the third game. I guess that's like a staple for Max Payne really, isn't it? Awesome thing about the save states is literally if you've got your hands on the back paddles all the time, you can just quickly save. And then if I just run backwards and then load that save, it's pretty instantaneous. So, like I say, it's very useful in these older PS2 games where you maybe can't save as often. But as you can see, if you have this locked down, 50 FPS, yeah, 50 Hz, and you're running the PAL version of the game, really stable frame rate. Like at a decent wattage as well. You're going to get like 4 hours of battery life. I noticed when playing Snake Eater, some of the cutscenes, because they were in-game cutscenes, unlike this, which is like pre-rendered like artwork. Sometimes the cutscenes would require a lot more wattage, so the fans would kick up a bit. But once we got back into the gameplay, it was just smooth again. And like I said before, some of the cutscenes in-game for Snake Eater had a bit of slowdown, which was a little bit annoying. Like some of them were running at like 50% speed for like a good 2 minutes, and it was a little bit annoying. So not ideal, but there may be a way of fixing that with like setting a speed hack up. I didn't fully look into it because I wasn't that fussed. I've played Snake Eater a lot of times, so I pretty much know the ins and outs of every cutscene anyway. But yeah, just a few cutscenes in the middle and near the end had quite a bit of slowdown, just so you know. But yeah, that's Max Payne. Let's jump into another game. And I can literally just save state and load back in when I next come back on the game, so easy as that. Welcome back. I've had a couple of requests for this one. I used to play this back in the day. I think I rented it when I was on holiday to play in our hotel, or in our apartment even. And yeah, I don't think my parents realised how bad it was. I think I must have been only about 12 or 13. And yeah, there's some pretty gory stuff in this game. I mean, like you're shooting people's heads off, you're like blowing people's limbs up. It's pretty graphic. It's worse than GTA is, I think, at some points, as far as violence goes. But as you can see, since the last PS2 emulator update, it seems to have fixed the game. So in the previous time I'd played it, the sky was red and I had some really weird reflections, and it just wasn't playable just because of how badly rendered it was. But as you can see, it looks pretty good. I mean, this is running at 3 times, or maybe 2 times native, I think it is. I haven't changed any settings. I've always got the same PS2 settings on, if you're ever wondering. If you go back to my first original PS2 video, you'll be able to see my original settings, but I haven't changed anything since. So, just like the first game, Max Payne, I have the save states enabled, so we can just load quickly in and out of the game. This one's a pretty fun GTA clone, based around like getting your reputation back basically it starts where the film ends. So if you watch the film, something happens at the end and you're like, well, how can it start after the film ends? Basically, it creates like an alternate ending and you get to change events that happen in the film and your empire gets taken away from you and you have to basically rebuild it. It has some fun missions from what I can remember, and it has some like awesome mechanics, like you can do drug deals and stuff like that, and you can sell you sperm to sperm banks to get money. It is very like out there and just very GTA-ish, but like all set in Miami, as you can see. Graphics look pretty nice. I know the frame time graph is all over the place, but it really doesn't feel bad to play. It feels very smooth. But yeah, I saw a few comments of you wanting to see Scarface, and as you can see, it works really well. Like I said, on one of the new updates, it fixed a lot of the stuff for me, so it's always good to double check if you have any updates on the PS2 emulator, just by going to desktop mode and then updating it. Sometimes it can break settings and sometimes it can break different things, but I haven't really experienced any time where it's massively broken a game for me. It's only gotten a game to run better for me, so definitely keep that in mind if your game's not running as well as you wish it was. But yeah, we won't play too much of this. I just wanted to show off that it works.
If you want free legal advice, I'm on a little head. Hey, Tony, I don't work for free.
It definitely reminds me of Vice City. They were definitely trying to get that GTA Vice City kind of vibe to it. I don't think I'm supposed to be back here. But yeah, if you're a fan of Vice City and you're looking for like a similar Miami-esque GTA-ish clone, definitely play it. I don't like using the word GTA clone because it has its own features and its own gameplay, but it's very open, like world kind of setting. Yeah, so if you're a fan of Scarface and you haven't ever played this before, give it a go. It's not a shitty film tie-in game. It has its own storyline. Like I say, it's set after the film. Well, yeah, as you can see, I haven't had any issues with it. I've done the prequel, the tutorial section, and I've just been having a little bit of free roaming in the game, and it seems to work really well, so you shouldn't have any issues with this one. So if that looks familiar to you, yeah, you wouldn't be thinking differently. That is literally Red Dead Redemption, the original game. So this was made by Rockstar, and I think Capcom published it, or Capcom helped in some way for it, but this is kind of like the original Red Dead Redemption, just Red Dead Revolver. This is like them experimenting in the Western gaming, like maps and world and atmosphere. It's very fun. It's not open world. It's like got a mission structure, but it's all about revenge. I think your parents get killed at the start by a gang and you have to hunt them down. It's very like Western-esque, but it's an awesome game. And if you haven't ever played it before and you're a massive Red Dead fan, give it a go. It's got a very quirky like characters and atmosphere to it. I ain't ever fully finished it, but you play as this dude here, and yeah, he's trying to get revenge for his family. But yeah, like I say, it's like the original Red Dead Redemption, just without the free roam. But yeah, if you're a fan of this game and you're just hoping that it works, I ain't had any issues with it. I don't think I've set up the hotkeys yet though, so I'll just quickly do that. Like I say, I had to, since that last update, that they kind of messed a few things up. It erased all my pair game profile settings, so I've had to go back and reset all these up in every game. You know, this little tab here. I'm hoping that they don't do that again, because that would be a pain in the ass, but it is a beta. So like I'm expecting it to be a little... I expect it to change a few things, you know, but for it to erase every pair game profile of all my settings was a little bit frustrating. Just trying to remember how to get my gun out here. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's got that really like cartoony-esque Western gun noises to it as well, like the... Oh, there we go. The pistol's probably a better weapon to use. I think there's a red eye as well in this. A dead eye even. You know, where you can slow down time.
Use my wagon for cover.
so you can attach the cover as well. Couple of graphical glitches there, but I mean they're like a split second, they don't really affect anything in game. Yeah, I'd rather not go through all the training stuff. Shot. But yeah, definitely recommend this if you love Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of my favourite games. That's the story in that is absolutely phenomenal. Which reminds me, I've got to try and get it playable on here. But I've been playing it on my PC a lot, so I don't really want to start it all again on my Steam Deck. I don't really see the point in playing it on my Steam Deck. Just play it on my PC. Like I say, I normally use my Steam Deck for like emulation and older titles from like 2015 below. So having like newer games on it is really cool, but for me, not really something I want to be playing on it. Just for like battery life and yeah, battery life and the fact that I'm gonna have to run it at lower settings. So this is teaching you how to do like a duel, or is this the Deadeye tutorial? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so Deadeye is was first introduced here. As you can see, it's very like stereotypical cowboy-esque. So these guys are like a couple of bosses in game. That was cool. Couple of shots on him. This guy's a tough cookie. Right. Where's the other one at? Oh, there he is. Oh, he's a big boy. Got nailed. Yeah, completely irrelevant, but any of you guys seen that? I mean, it's been out a while in America, but if you're in the UK, literally just came out a couple of days ago. Like everywhere, everything, all the time, I think it's called. Just watched that last night. That was, yeah, that was something else, man. I've never been in a cinema and watched a film where it's like made me rethink life itself. Definitely recommend it if you like existential, like. It's got a comedy in it as well, but it's got a serious message. It was a really good film. I really enjoyed it. As you can see, Red Dead Revolver, really good. Works great as well. So, the last game of the video, we're looking at, I think it's Ico, something like that. By the guys who made Shadow of the Colossus. I haven't ever played this one though, but apparently it's, whenever I look up like best games on PS2, this one is always in the top 10. I'm pretty sure it's got a similar control scheme to Shadow of the Colossus. You know, it's quirky, Japanese. You're rescuing, I don't know if you're rescuing a princess, but you're definitely rescuing a girl. And it isn't like Shadow of the Colossus in that there's only bosses that you have to fight. I think there's like actual like people you have to fight in this one. But yeah, same company. So if you've ever played Shadow of the Colossus, then you know what you're going to get into in this one. Very quirky, and yeah, has a very deep story to it. It's a very like atmosphere. It's got a lot of atmosphere to it. But as you can see, only running at 8.1 watt here. I'm not sure if these are pre-rendered or if these are in game, but yeah, 4.5 hours of battery life at 80%. PS2 I found is like such a good emulator on the Steam Deck to play. Haven't had many issues. I think the only game I've had an issue with so far is The Getaway. And in The Getaway, I hadn't really ever played The Getaway, but I just tried it just as a game to try. But the cutscenes are extremely slow, so that might be just a case of speeding up in the settings. But that would be a good reason to get the newer update on Linux, where you can set like pre-game profiles for every PS2 game. just so you don't have to go back to desktop every time. But yeah, like I say, I'll keep you updated with that, but it's not out on Linux yet, it's just on Windows at the minute. I'll just, for the purpose of showing gameplay, I'll just skip the cutscene at the start. Skip that one as well. But yeah, it's kind of a game that won't really tell you anything to do. It's more of an exploring game, and you're expected just to look around everywhere and then try and like progress the story yourself. Good point though, because I haven't ever played Shadow of the Colossus on the Steam Deck yet, so I think that's one of the hardest PS2 games to run. So that'll be an interesting one to test in the next video, or in an upcoming video. So yeah, there we go, we're in. So we're running the PAL version of the game. And as you can see, it looks very Shadow of the Colossus-y. It's very similar atmosphere that they're using here. Similar looking game world, I guess, as well. Frame rate, frame time graph is a little bit all over the place, but I don't know if you can tell, it feels very responsive to me. Maybe feels like a tiny bit stuttery, but it's definitely not bad, like, at all. I wonder if I can just grab that. Yeah, so like I say, like, it doesn't really tell you what to do. You just got to explore and experiment and just, yeah. Like I say, it's a very, like, put headphones on, get in the zone, and just enjoy the journey. I don't think it's massively long, but yeah, it's very... You can tell there's been a lot of effort put into it. Pretty sure I've got to grab this chain now. Yeah. But yeah, if you're a long time fan of this game, you know, fill me in the comments. Like, is it amazing? I'm guessing it is. Everyone says it's amazing, but I just haven't ever got around to playing it. So I'm guessing we have to jump off this chain. Okay, not like that. This is where it confuses me a little bit, because you've got to press the right buttons. I don't know if I've got to... Let's check the controls quickly. Yeah, there's really not a lot to it. Triangles jump, so... There we go. What, and can I grab this ledge as well? See what I mean? Like... But then... Is that going to kill me? Was I supposed to do that? No? Look how big this world is, man. It's crazy. Set of ladders there. I want to go up these ladders. Turn up the sound so you can get a feel for the atmosphere. Definitely a game you'd wear headphones for. And also make sure you're not going to jump off and die or something. But yeah, if you're a fan of Ico, you can play it on the Steam Deck, no problem. At a really good wattage as well. Very good wattage there, 8 watts, so you're going to get, look at about 4.5 hours of battery life. Awesome. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments, guys, and I shall see you tomorrow. I think we're going to look at some Sly Cooper or maybe some AAA titles. If you want to see either or the other, just let me know in the comments, and yeah, I'll speak to you guys soon. Thanks for watching again. Really appreciate you subscribing and leaving comments on my videos. It's really motivating to get me to do a video every day, because I haven't really consistently posted on YouTube like for over a month now, so this is a really awesome project for me to just carry on doing, and the Steam Deck is, like I said, only ever going to get better over time, so I'll keep posting if you guys keep watching. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you guys soon.